guys! While making my video about ships, I came to the conclusion that a lot of the scenes I associate with ships are actually dance scenes, or at least dance adjacent. Ultimately, I came to the realization that Miraculous Ladybug has a surprising amount of dance scenes. So today I'm going to rank them based on sheer greatness, or lack thereof. First, a few guidelines. I'm going to only focus on scenes where multiple characters are dancing, aka not that one scene where Gabe is dancing by himself evilly, because even though that's awesome, that's not much of a dance scene. I'm also not going to include scenes where people are hypnotized or forced to dance unless they're choreographed or kind of dancing in unison, or just being forced to dance but aren't hypnotized by Akumas. Otherwise, anything is fair game. Please note, I'm not including anything from the cinematic movie because it's not canon. I also didn't like it very much. That's a story for another day. Frightening Gale. This is essentially a lot of possessed-looking people dancing to the Miraculous theme song in a weird music video. Frankly, even though it gets points for being marginally choreographed, this scene is at the bottom of my list because I find it just plain, well, disturbing. Emotion. While this is definitely a dance scene, the people involved are mostly pure garbage, so it can't possibly be a good one. That alone relegates it to the bottom tier. I mean, sure, lots of the attendees seem to be enjoying themselves, but there's also the matter of the crazy mind-controlling freaks, Gabe and Tomo, trying to set up their children and just being typically horrible. The only bright spot is Felix pulling one over on Gabe, which is always great. It has all the makings of a terrible cult, though, one that children should stay far away from, which is unfortunate due to how many are in attendance. But I digress. Bubbler. Fun fact, this is the first episode of Miraculous I ever saw, thanks to a Google search listing it as the first. As you can imagine, I was very confused because this episode explains nothing. But onto the scene. This one is pretty terrible. Everyone's all depressed and dancing with randos, and it's obvious they don't like each other. Rose clearly wants to dance with Julika, but for some reason they're under the impression that Nino's homophobic and wouldn't approve, so instead they're dancing with those guys. And since Max isn't wearing his glasses, does he even know who he's dancing with? And then Chloe tries to make out with Adrian, which is obviously not dancing, and Adrian is not a fan. But Bubbler is better than the first two. Ultimately, it's another stinker. Representation. This has got all the makings of being Bubbler 2.0, but gets extra credit because nobody's being forced to dance against their will? To be honest, I'm using the term dance scene loosely with this one because almost nobody is dancing. But it takes place at a school dance, so... And Marinette's far too depressed at the dance, when she's actually there at least, to make this a great scene, and honestly it's pretty mid. The episode itself is redeemed by the play scene that happens later in the episode, which is pure fire. Dancing, however, not so much. Puppeteer 2 and Anansi. I'm honestly not sure if playing Miraculous Just Dance counts as a dance scene, but it's Olga and Nino being cute together, so I approve. After all, it is people dancing, so I think it qualifies. Either way, it's still far superior to the previous entries. Sandboy. Unlike all the other scenes, this episode has non-humans doing the dancing. In this case, the Kwamis. It's really cute, and while it isn't nearly the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Miraculous dance scenes, it's magical, and I love that they're trying to save Nuru, my favorite Kwami. But it's a little lackluster compared to what's to come, so I can't justify placing it any higher. Party Crasher. Is it the first thing I think of when I think of Miraculous Ladybug dance scenes? Probably not. Is it amazing? Absolutely. I mean, the vibes here are immaculate, and the entire thing just radiates chaos. When every single male character in the show is just throwing a big dance party rave situation in a teenager's bedroom, how can this be anything other than an overwhelming success? I'm really not sure what was going through the mind of whoever wrote this episode, but they definitely deserve a raise. And then, out of nowhere, they start doing a dance with weird YMCA-like choreography that everybody knows besides Marinette somehow, and they're all completely vibing with it. Maybe it's just a guy thing. And their amps are turned up to 11,000. I'm still not entirely sure why Nino forbade all the girls from entering, but I guess he thought they'd bring down the party. Could this have something to do with why Julika and Rose didn't want to dance together in Bubbler? Maybe they thought that Nino would be offended that they weren't dancing with any of the awesome dudes in the show? I don't know, just a thought. Miraculous, New York. I was originally going to put this at the top, but then decided after rewatching it that spinning in the air while only a few people are also spinning, but on the ground, doesn't constitute much of a dance scene. It's absolutely adorable, but like, not the most dance-y. So I guess this is definitely an instance of personal preference above actual content, but it's a beautiful scene nonetheless. Despair Bear. The first thing I think of when I think of the topic of Miraculous Ladybug dance episodes. Since the moment it aired, it makes me smile every time I think about it. It was just super unexpected in the show's early days for an episode to give off such Adrianette vibes. Season 1 is more Lady Noir than anything else, so getting some Adrianette so early in Season 2 was exciting, even if they deliver pretty much no follow-up content for a while after this. Unlike most early Adrianette content, Adrian is the one who initiates. He asks her to dance. It's just a super lovely scene until Chloe interrupts it, that is. And bonus points to Alia for her adorable little twirls that force Merida and Adrian to dance closer to each other. So there we have it. We made it past the disgraceful dances and onto the ones that are pure fire. If you're offended because of the Frightening Gale music video is your favorite music video of all time, then I'm sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed the video and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Bye!